Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. I am Shaliki Khan, Assistant Professor Electronics and Communication Engineering Department at KIIT Group of Institutions. Today in this session we are going to talk about the antenna array, its designing and simulation. So we are going to talk about the 2-point antenna array. We are going to see the output radiation when we are going to change the phase from 0 degree up to 180 degree with a 15 degree phase gap. So we are going to see how the radiation is changing when I am changing the phase between the 2-point antenna array. So first of all we are going to design the 2-point antenna array with the help of Tarang software. I have already demonstrated the feature and the installation of the Tarang software in the previous videos. If you have still not watched those videos, it is highly recommended that you go back and watch the previous video once and then come to this video. So first of all we are going to simulate the 2-point antenna array, then we are going to verify our results with the help of the theory part. So let's begin with the simulation part first. So this is how our Tarang software would be looking like. So first of all I am going to make the 2-point antenna array, and for that I am making the wire antenna. So first of all I am going to click on the wire segment. So this kind of window is going to open. So the point 1 is at 0 0 minus 100, point 2 is at 0 0 100. The diameter is 1 and the material property is copper. Okay, so I am going to click OK, and then I am going to click one more wire. So now I will be having 2 wires. So I am going to take this wire at 200 centimeters. So now that point 1 will be 200 0 minus 100, point 2 will be 200 0 100, and this is how I will be having the second wire with the diameter 1 centimeter and the material copper. So you can see we have these 2 wires present over here. So you can click to the R option and it is going to reset the wires. So now you can see these 2 wires are there. Now I am going to excite these wires so that they will be acting like an antenna. For that I am going to click on this current source. When I click it and click it on the wire, so this is how I will be having the current source on the wire. Similarly I am going to put the current source on the wire number 2, and this is how I will be having the 2 wires. So now I am going to change the location of the source. So I am going to put the location of the wire 1 as, or the source on the wire 1 as 0 0 0, amplitude would be 1, phase would be 0. Okay, so now I am going to change the location of the excitation to, so it would be having the location 200 0 and 0. So it is 0. Now amplitude is 1, phase is 0. I am going to click OK. So this is how I will be having my 2-point antenna array. I am going to simulate it. So I am going to take only point 1, and starting and the stop frequency is from 25 to 500 megahertz. So now I have the center frequency to be at 75 megahertz. So now I am going to simulate it. So after it is getting simulated, I am going to observe the radiation pattern. So you can play with the radiation pattern. This is how the radiation pattern will be looking like. If you click the W option, so it is going to show the wire as well. Okay, so now you can see the radiation pattern of the 2-point antenna array with 0 phase. This is called the broadside radiation pattern. If you want to see the radiation pattern in 2D, you can go to the right click option, and here you have to click on the polar plot. This is how my broadside radiation pattern would be looking like. Now coming to the next part. So I am going to maximize this window. I am going to change this excitation. So this is my location 200 0 0. I am going to give it a phase of 180 degree. Right, from 0 degree phase I am going to change it to 180 degree. Again I am going to simulate it. Right, so I have simulated it with all of the frequencies same. I am going to observe the radiation pattern. So this is how the radiation pattern will be looking like. I am going to zoom it and I am going to play it. So you can see this is my end fire radiation pattern. The radiation pattern is in the direction of the antennas. So the maxima, these are my maxima lobes. This is my maxima lobe 1, this is my maxima lobe 2. It is in the direction of my wire. So again I am going to click on the polar plot so that you can see the difference between the radiation pattern. This is my end fire radiation pattern and this is my broadside radiation pattern. Okay, so this is how these end fire and the broadside radiation pattern are different. So now what will happen if I want to change the radiation pattern from one value to another? Like I don't want to make the simulation again and again. How can I do that? So first of all I am going to maximize it. Then again I am going to click on this current source. On the phase I am going to write the phase only. So I am going to assign it a variable name phase. So I am going to the preview option. In the preview option I am going to give the range to the phase. The minimum value is 0, the maximum value is 180, step size is 15 and default value is 0. Okay, so now after that I am going to click OK and I am going to save. So for saving you can use the Ctrl S and you can save it as any name. So I am going to give it a name array. Okay, so I am going to click save. So now after that I am going to simulate it. So the simulation will be taking some time because here you can see we have the 14 radiation patterns, right, from 0 phase to 15 phase, then 30 phase. Okay, this is the phase difference between the two antennas. We have changed the phase difference between the two antennas, and this is how from 0 to 180 phase we have different radiation patterns. We are going to observe the radiation patterns as it is. So you can see it here. This is the radiation pattern. Okay, this is the radiation pattern for the default value. Default value was 0, so this is the radiation pattern that we are seeing over here. Okay, so now coming to this slider window. Okay, so this is the option where I will be clicking and I will be getting this slider window. Okay, so now I can change the values. Okay, you can see I am changing it here. Okay, so now you will be observing the radiation pattern as well as the polar plot. Okay, so you can see this is the broadside radiation pattern. Then I am going to change it. So you can slide it and you can observe the radiation pattern, how the radiation pattern is changing if I am sliding it. So by 15 degree the phase is changing and our radiation are changing by some values. So you can see the radiation pattern is shifting from the vertical direction to the horizontal direction, and from broadside I get the end fire radiation pattern. Now if one would say that how I can observe the 3D radiation pattern, you have to click to the refresh data option. Okay, so you can go to any option. Okay, so here you can see the radiation pattern for the 180 degree phase. So for any center value, let's suppose my value is 30 phase, so you can go to the refresh data option and you will be getting the 3D radiation pattern for this value as well. Okay, you can see it here. Similarly, let's suppose I have any other in between value, and again I am going to the refresh data option. You can see the radiation pattern. So you can see the radiation pattern is changing when I am changing the values of the phase between the two antennas. So this is how I can observe the radiation pattern for any phase. You can change the separation between the two antennas also, and you can observe the radiation pattern. So now we are observing the theory part of the 2-point antenna array. Okay, we have already seen the radiation pattern of the broadside and the end fire array. Okay, we have already seen how we can make the model and how we can simulate it and how we can observe its radiation pattern. How we made it? With the help of current sources and the wires. The phase angle was changed to observe the directional radiation pattern. Okay, so the antenna was observed at the sweeping frequency 75 megahertz, and the two antennas were separated by 200 centimeter. Okay, so the dipole antenna properties are same as dipole antenna designed earlier in the episode 2. I hope you all have seen the episode 2. Now we have seen that how we can define a parameter angle 0 to 180 degree with step size. We have taken the step size 15. You can take the step size 10 as well, and the default was 0 degree. Frequency sweep was 25 to 500 megahertz. With 1 point I had taken, you can choose the 11 points as well, and this is how we had seen the radiation pattern. So you can see the radiation pattern for the 2-point antenna array for any phase. Okay, so you can see the value of phase 0, 45, 90, okay, 135, and this is how, or this is 180 degree, and this is how we can get the different type of radiation pattern. We can classify the radiation pattern depending upon the spacing as well. So we can change the spacing from lambda by 4 to lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 4 and lambda, and this is how we can have the different phases, and this is how we can relate the radiation pattern. You can play with it, you can have various other options as well. Now coming to the theory part. Now we have two antennas. Okay, so we have antenna 1 and the antenna 2, which are d distance apart. We can choose any distance. As I have said in the previous example, we had chosen the distance between the two antennas to be 200. I am taking the reference to be at the center. In that case, the reference was at the antenna 1. Okay, so now when the reference is at center, what will happen? The radiations from the antenna 1 is going, and radiations from antenna 2 are also going to a far off point P. Okay, so we will be having any point P, a far off point P, and we are imagining a imaginary antenna at the reference also. So you can see if I have radiations from all of the points or all of the antenna 1, 2 and R, then the radiations from antenna 1 is leading and the radiations from antenna 2 are lagging. So you can see R is at the center, so distance between antenna 1 and R is d by 2, distance between antenna 2 and R is again d by 2. Okay, the point P is making angle phi. So if I observe this triangle in a bigger dimension, I will be having this R and 2 separated by d by 2 distance, and this is the angle phi, so that if I have the 90 degree angle here, so this distance would be d by 2 cos of phi, right? So similarly I will be having the d1 distance to be d by 2 cos of phi, and similarly d2 distance will be equal to d by 2 cos of phi. Similarly, I can say the path difference between the two antennas, antenna 1 and antenna 2, would be equal to d1 plus d2. If I put the antenna 1 at this point, the radiations will be going in a same manner, but the antenna is placed at this point instead of the point O, and this is how we will be having the path difference of d1 plus d2 in between antenna 1 and antenna 2. So psi is proportional to d1 plus d2, and what is d1? D by 2 cos of phi. What is d2? D by 2 cos of phi. So psi is proportional to d cos of phi. Now if I remove this proportional sign, I will be having the proportionality constant, that is beta. Beta is 2 pi upon lambda. So psi is beta d cos of phi. So psi is the path difference. Now here you can see we have the reference antenna. Reference antenna is not having any path difference. We are computing all of the values from the reference. So antenna 1 is leading from reference, antenna 2 is lagging from reference by the phase of psi by 2, right? So I can represent it with the phase psi by 2 lead and the psi by 2 lag. So what I observed, so we have the two antennas which are similar, which are leading with the phase psi by 2 from reference and lagging with the phase of psi by 2 from reference. So if I am saying that these two antennas are similar, which means both of them are having the impedance to be same. So Z1 is equal to Z2 is equal to Z0. Similarly, I can say the current going through these two antennas is same. So I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I0. So I can apply the Ohm's law and I can see E0 is equal to I Z0 is equal to E1 is equal to I1 Z1 is equal to E2 is equal to I2 Z2. So I can say electric field would be same. So E0 and E0 would be here. Now it is leading, so I can represent the electric field as E0 e raised to power j psi by 2. I can represent this electric field as E0 e raised to power minus j psi by 2, and I can add both of them to find out the final electric field. So E0 e raised to power j psi by 2 plus E0 e raised to power minus j psi by 2. So it will be equal to E0 common e raised to power j psi by 2 plus e raised to power minus j psi by 2. This is the formula of cos of theta. So cos of theta is e raised to power j psi e raised to power j theta plus e raised to power minus j theta upon 2. So now I have e raised to power j psi by 2 plus e raised to power minus j psi by 2. So I am taking theta as psi by 2. So it will be equal to 2 cos of psi by 2. So I am replacing this term with 2 cos of psi by 2. So I will be having 2 E0 cos of psi by 2. What was psi? Psi was beta d cos of phi. So 2 E0 cos beta d cos of phi upon 2. So this is how I can represent my electric field. So beta was 2 pi upon lambda, and this is how I can compute the electric field as 2 E0 cos pi cos phi upon 2. Right? So this is how I will be getting the electric field. So similarly, I can compute the electric field if I have the reference at any other point. You can compute the electric field. So you can see the phase diagram. So here we will be having the electric field E0 for the antenna 2, because here the reference is at antenna 2 and antenna 1 is leading by psi angle. So this is how I can have E0 plus E0 e raised to power j psi. This is how I can compute the electric field for this. So similarly, I can have the opposite phase and the phase quadrature. In the opposite phase, I will be having the 180 degree phase gap. So here I will be having the same diagram, but I will be taking the 180 degree phase gap. So here instead of E0 e raised to power minus j psi by 2, I will be taking the pi phase gap from here. Okay, so E0 e raised to power minus j psi by 2 plus pi I am going to take. So I am going to add E0 e raised to power j psi by 2 plus E0 e raised to power minus j psi by 2 plus pi. Now E0, this e raised to power minus j psi by 2 plus pi can be represented as e raised to power minus j psi by 2 multiplied by e raised to power minus j pi. Why? Because here we have these two terms are added in the power. So when I am going to open the bracket, I am going to multiply them. So e raised to power minus j pi is minus 1. So here I will be getting E0 e raised to power j psi by 2 minus E0 e raised to power minus j psi by 2, because here I am multiplying it with minus 1. So I can take E0 common, and this is how I will be getting the formula of 2 sin psi by 2 and multiplied with j as well. So E will be equal to 2j E0 sin psi by 2. This is how I will be getting the final electric field as 2j sin pi cos of phi, and this is how I will be getting the broadside radiation pattern. Similarly, I can have the phase quadrature, and for the phase quadrature also I can compute the electric field. So this is very interesting, and how we are finding out the radiation pattern for the varying phase. Now you can also find out the radiation pattern for the varying spacing as well. You can change the distance between the two antennas, and then you can find out the radiation pattern for change distance. So you can use any variable and you can find out the output when you are changing the distance between the two antennas. Okay, so you can see this is how the various cases of the 2-point antenna array would be looking like. If I have d is equal to lambda by 2, alpha is equal to 0, En would be cos pi by 2 cos of phi, which is the broadside pattern. We have the end fire pattern. We have d is equal to lambda, alpha is equal to 0, En will be cos pi cos of phi. Okay, and similarly we have d is equal to lambda upon 2, alpha is equal to 180 degree. This is my end fire radiation pattern. Okay, so here I will be having sin pi by 2 cos of phi. This is my end fire radiation pattern. For lambda by 4 also I can have the radiation pattern which will be looking like this. Okay, so for distance is equal to 2 lambda, our radiation pattern will be looking like this. En will be cos 2 pi cos of phi. For lambda by 2, alpha is equal to 90. We have already observed its radiation pattern in the 3D. So it will be having En is equal to cos pi by 4 plus pi by 2 cos of phi. So you can see the varying distance and the radiation pattern if I change the distance between the two antennas. So this is how I stop this lecture. I hope you will be meeting me soon in the next lecture, where we will be discussing about the endpoint antenna array. Thank you so much.